How have the operational and legal landscapes for the wedding industry evolved in recent times, and what should businesses expect moving forward?
I think most businesses, in my experience of having worked extensively during COVID and post-COVID, some have gone to the wall. So I think caterers have definitely suffered very badly because, as I said, they'll have fixed their price. Consumers like to know what price is per head if they're going to spend 15, 20,000 pounds on the catering, and usually that's a big one. A lot of businesses wouldn't have RPI clauses in their contract, or they don't make provision for the increased cost of food. And so if you take that particular type of service, a caterer would have had a price fixed per head, usually a year, 18 months, sometimes 2 years before. But what we have seen is huge inflation with food. Obviously, that was on the back of the Ukrainian war and Brexit. And so their margins are always tight anyway, caterers. But when the cost of food, whether it's beef, lamb, fish, or whatever, has gone up 10, 15%, that often can't be passed on to the consumer. And then cooking the food, look at the cost of energy. If a caterer's got the gas oven on constantly or electric, and I've advised a number of businesses to make provision without breaching the Consumer Rights Act, but being very open and honest with the consumer and saying, look, you want me to perform, you want the same good quality food, and you want me to be around, I'm afraid you're going to have to ride with me on any increases. And usually there is a negotiation. It might allow for, say, an RPI increase, but maybe capped at, say, no more 10% increase. That's evolved. And then I just think, again, issues on supply. So pre-Brexit, getting flowers over from wherever it is in Holland, or you've got dresses that are made in Italy coming over. Suddenly there are issues there which nobody foresaw pre-Brexit. For a lot of businesses, it's a big challenge, whether it's Brexit impact, whether it's Ukrainian war, whether it's Middle East war, whether it's shock of energy prices, shock of food increases, and just general cost of living. But usually the relationship is a solid one between the parties. As I said, the couple consumer just want their day. They want their dream day, and they just want to avoid as much disruption and stress as possible. The suppliers are really good people, in my view, having worked with them. They're a special kind that understand what weddings are all about and the pressures. And I think they enjoy it. But certainly it's been very challenging over the last 3 years. And we have some businesses have gone to the wall, or their business model just isn't sustainable. So it's not regulated, the industry. During the pandemic, and I was part of it, there was a support group. So there was a loose affiliation created. And that was on the back of nobody. So the hospitality industry had a big spokesperson. So they were able to lobby government for opening up the economy, for the eat out to help out. The wedding industry had no spokesperson at all. It was very fragmented. And I think what it did do is there are groups now. Businesses were able to share knowledge and industry information. But nevertheless, it was very difficult. I remember I think it was Paul Scully, the Minister for Trade, or I can't remember, it was the small business minister at the time. And somebody went to see him and he said, unless you've got almost like a governing body, it's very difficult. We can't deal with you. And so they did form, there was an action group, and they were able to get some interaction with Scully, who actually was very sympathetic to the industry. And at least there was some opportunity to have some kind of dialogue with the suppliers. So I think that a lot of them would have learned some tough lessons on the back of the pandemic.